Hey up everyone, how you doing? I was just watching back the first video on our ranges, and hopefully everyone's got a pretty good understanding on what is a range and the three phases in the market, like the supply and control, demand and control, all in a range. How we actually mark up a range and what they mean. But I did realise that in that video I probably marked out about four ranges. So this isn't really going to be a tutorial video. This is more, I'm going to go through the charts. I'm going to put on a bit of music, just made a fresh pot of coffee, and just mark up the ranges on the different time frames. Yeah, and we'll go through it together a bit. I really like starting with ranges because one is kind of getting us already a bit of eyes on structure of the market and structure within the structure within the structure throughout the time frames of the market. Okay, don't worry, this all comes very apparent. So I hadn't even mentioned the word structure really, but by doing ranges we're already starting to see it, put it together. Okay, which is basically just the way the market moves, trends, things like that. And yeah, it's also good for attention to detail ranges because you've got like fixed rules. There's no objectivity, or I still can't work out that word. Non-subjectivity. I don't know. Stay in school, kids. But yeah, there's no opinion. It's just like fixed. But there is a bit of attention to detail at some points when it comes down to did that week break, and if that was a doji and that broke that. Anyway, I'm sure when we go through the charts together here, we'll see a few examples of that. And I'll explain how we mark those ones up. And also, it's a bit of legwork, marking up the ranges. The rest of the strategy is kind of very much kind of recent price action. But ranges, we're doing this on a few time frames, and you can go right back in time as far as you want, really. And it's just good getting eyes on the chart. So I think it's a good start. This is like the beginning of our little backtesting story together. Excuse me. So, sorry, you've just been looking at a blank screen there. Let's get this one over here. So let's get marking up together. I'm not going to do bar replay or anything like that. You can do if you want and kind of just go through the flow of the market. But I'm only going to do this for about 10, knowing me, it'll probably end up being 20 minutes when the music's good and the music's strong. Hang on, when the music's good and the coffee's strong, I'll probably get in the zone a bit. But yeah, we'll just mark up some of the time frames. So as I said on the previous video though, you don't want to mark up every single time frame. You don't need to mark up like the 97-minute time frame. Just mark up the monthly, the weekly, daily, 4-hour, and the 15-minute. And you don't have to do the 15-minute from back in November 2002. Just more recent. 15 minutes fine. But anyway, we're going to start from a high time frame down. So we're going to start from the monthly. And good reason to do this as well is I didn't really cover where do we start. Where do you start marking out the ranges? And what you want is just somewhere like here, where you see a clean push. That's not a range. This is a bit of a range, but look, there's more demand than supply here, and it's breaking highs to the left. The high is defined where it's kind of gone up, not broken the low, caused their little range, what we went through in the last video. You know what I mean? This has been ranging, and then demand's clearly broken out of this. Don't really mind where it started. We just worry about where it finished. We'll mark a high. I'll put these on for the first couple. I don't usually use the horizontal ray on this bit, but just for tutorial reasons. Save these actually because I imagine you come in handy. Yeah. So that was a high, that was a low, broke out the high first. So this has become a demand range. The low. Demand range. Cool. Cool. Am I record? Thought I didn't have the sound on there. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So we're going to keep following each candle up until the high isn't broken. So that candle breaks that candle, that candle breaks that candle. Doesn't matter if it's a wick, body, whatever. As long as it goes higher than the previous candle's wick, higher than the high of the previous candle, whichever way you want to say it, then it's trending. You know? Get to a high, it's not broken. So now we've got a new high. Okay? This is still the low. Okay, but we can see that it breaks the high before it breaks the low. So we've got a new demand range. Here's your high. And then we go to the lowest point of price action within this range. And it's from this candle, whatever created the high, onwards. So it's not like, you know what I mean? It's there. The range is from when this high is created to when this breaks. This is the new range. Yeah? And we got our new low. Okay. This candle breaks like this candle. That one does not. So which one breaks first? The low or the high? The high breaks first. I don't know if I've explained this. I think I have. But if you go over the rectangle, hold Control, then click, and it duplicates it. Makes life a bit easier. Find the lowest point of price action from when that high was created, which is there. Move on. You now have new low, and then that takes out that one. That does not. Now a high. Now which one breaks first? High or the low? The low gets broken first. High does get broken, but we come to low first. So all this price action now, supply has a broken serve. Supply has now come back into the market. So we create, go high to the low, supply range. Now this is the low, that's still the high of that supply range. Now which breaks first? High does. Go back. Demand's back, serving. Right, getting a little bit of attention to detail now. Going to do the last couple, and then I'm gonna. I miss my music. There's our high. We have a little pullback because we've got an inside bar there, which is telling us that hasn't broken a high. Just a little warning on inside bars. In fact, yeah. So this is a good rule. If it's the same high, so see how over H there we got 36821, and this one is 36731, so it is lower. But if this was exactly the same high as this, it still marks as an inside bar because it hasn't broken the high. Okay, but I wouldn't class that as a pullback. I'd still say that it's trending if it's the same high, exactly the same price. Very rarely do we get down like the monthly, the weekly, but it does come a little bit apparent, especially on the 15-minute. If it's the same price, it's not a creation of a new high. So if this was the same price, I'd still want the next candle to not break the high. You know what I'm saying? We'll probably get a lot of examples of that as well. But yeah, just a little heads up there. So, but this one is lower. It's an inside bar, it's lower. And so we create a new range. The high gets broken before the low. So we got a new demand range. We got a new low. What time are we on? 10 minutes. This ain't too bad. Do another 10 minutes of this. Nice. That that doesn't take out that one, so it's a new little range. Just a little one. But, you know, this is on the monthly. There's stuff going on here, big time. Big time. With some month of trading going on in there. So within that candle, you know, we'll be kind of favouring longs. If we get like weekly, daily, 4 hour and 15-minute kind of order flow, and then we're going back on the monthly and being like, well, yeah, monthly's demand as well. You know, we'll be buying here. We'll be favouring buys with demand, because on the monthly we've got range, demand, order flow happening. Okay, so yeah, attention to detail, especially on the higher time frames, are pretty key. So then we go up to the next one. There's our high. High gets broken before the low. Now the demand range. New low. High gets taken out. High gets taken out. Ooh, just taken out. So again, attention to detail. Look, it's a tiny little wick, but I didn't say that. Tiny little wick, which just breaks this out, but that does mean that demand is still, it is serving from this range. So, demand, range. Now we've got a new low. And then what breaks first? This is the high, because the next candle doesn't break it. The low goes. So now this is a supply range. And again, a little bit of terminology for you now, which you will be going into late date. There's a demand to supply range flip, which has some good weight to it. Now the next low, which is really melted, is there. That's still the high. The low breaks before the high. Right. Now we've got some supply order flow happening. Okay. We'll be. Oh, I've got two of these. Go away. There's our new low. So that's when the next candle doesn't break. There's our high, which breaks first. Cool. Low breaks. So in all this month here, from the 1st of June 2010 to 1st of January 2015, so that whole 5 years there, I mean, sure, like we would have been playing pullbacks. We could have all definitely be playing longs with like weekly and daily and 4 hour and 15-minute demand order flow. So there would have been. But coming from the monthly, the strongest trades really would have been supply. Okay, we don't have to enter a trade. We don't have to be in a monthly supply range, a weekly supply range, a daily supply range, a 4 hour supply range, a 15-minute supply range. That's like, I mean, sure, that's a very, very strong trade, but it's not a necessity. It's more like just the more time frames we have working together, the stronger it is. But anyway, so all this, because we're in a supply range here, yeah, and we've got supply order flow coming from a demand to supply range flip, all this price action, supply would have been favourable, and what do you know, supply did hold and go, which is nice. Unfortunately, I wasn't trading back in 2010. I definitely didn't know this anyway. Cool. We've got a new high. Little attention to detail. So we've had this big range here. We get a little range. Low, not broken, causes new range. Okay. Wow, I said I was going to do this and oh, it's a wonder boom. Right, I'm not going to play music now. That's the wonder boom. Music. Cool. So then this low, this becomes our new low. which gets broken first, the low or the high? High does. So this price action here becomes a demand range. Cool. Cool. And that becomes the high. That manages still the low. What breaks first, the high or the low? From this candle onwards, the low does. So now supply. This copies whatever you've got selected. You've got everything selected. What am I doing? Hang on. What am I doing? Wow, I've got Oh, right, yeah. I was going to say I've got mental. There it is. That's the new low. Well, I marked that right. I'm confused myself here now. Damn. Yeah, because it's a flip. Holds the same. Yeah, sorry. Right. Don't know why I was double thinking that. Then the high breaks for the low. Got a new high. Ah, we're almost at the end of the monthly. Cool beans, man. Cool beans. Low gets broken first. Supply. So this kind of stuff, I mean, it's cheating because you can see what we're doing anyway. But this is called mitigating a strong range. Getting a demand to supply range flip. And again, this is where supply become quite favourable. And I mean, sorry, I hate saying stuff like that. I used to hate it when tutorial videos would be like, and see this happens. It's like, well, yeah, I can because you can see it happening. So shut up. So anyway, get a little supply range there. All a bit of attention to detail here. That time. Cool. What breaks first, the low or the high? High does. Only just, but you know, doesn't matter. A little break. That becomes the high. In a bit. Much lower than that. Low 009. Yeah, that's still higher. That is the low. The low breaks before the high. Wow, hang on. I confused myself here. So that was the demand range. Apologies, guys. Let me go back here. In the demand range, right, the high, that was the low. That held, and then when that broke, that is when supply took over. So it's very rarely, but there is sometimes these little nitty-gritty kind of attention to details bit. You kind of got to make sure you follow the order, like go candle by candle when it's like not as clear as this. So the demand broke supply. So all this was just like a demand range. And then it was this green candle here. Even though it's green, it still broke the low. So that is when supply took over from demand. Okay, and it would have formed a new range from the high to the low. Yeah? And then that would have become the new low. That would still be the high. So now anything in this price action here will be classing as supply is favourable. Great. I love doing that, don't I? Low, go to the highest point. What's lower than that? Low 1096, 1069. That was lower. That was the low. Still the high. Low breaks first. Oh. Takes out, takes out, takes out, takes out. Oh, this is going to be fun. This would be a good one to wrap it up with, actually, because it's 20 minutes. Right. Okay, no, yeah, supply breaks before the high. Right, I've got to work out how to explain this properly as well. Big doji. This is what you call a doji, where price sort of enters and exits at around the same price, but it's had its fun during that month. Alright? So let's take this candle back. I'm not going to do bar replay, let's get to seeing this yet. So if we remove this candle, right, that this low has just been broken. So supply more control. Yeah, so this will be the low, this will be the high. Okay, now what has broken first? The low or the high here? Hard to tell. Especially, I mean, this is really hard to tell. Sometimes you can sort of read a little bit in wicks. I'd probably say because the next candle's coming from here, we've got some demand order flow. I would say it's probably gone up first, broken the high, come back down, broken the low, and then we've started push from down here, or down, up. Yeah, I reckon she's gone up, down. But anyway, don't fear, because all you've got to do to work out exactly is you can get our little eclipse out. Eclipse, it's called. What month is it? It's the March 20. Let's go to daily. Let's find it. Cool. So this is the big wick that's gone right up, right down. Quite an erratic month. That's COVID, isn't it? Isn't that around COVID time? March 20? I don't know. Yeah. But look, going down into time frame gives us more information. Time frames are information. Okay? So we can see that it went long first, came short, and we've been building our way up since. So this will be, from this range, we'll mark a demand, then supply took back over, and then demand has come back in. Okay? Where is he, man? Whoa, that's only 10. So when this low, this high, the high got broken first. When it's, if this kind of price actions, excuse me, happening on like the 15-minute, like in our entry range points, it's not clear enough. We're just going to sit on our hands and wait out for a couple of hours. But when it's on monthlies and this kind of stuff happens, you know, we've got time. We can go down, dissect it a little bit, and then we can work out the weekly and the daily order flow as well. And then this is still very tradable price action. But yeah, on the 15-minute, we kind of will be staying away from this. This is pretty clear indecision. So we had the demand range, and then she broke back down again. So that was creating a high, and at that point that was still the low. So she came up, and then she broke the low. But that's still the high. And that became the low, and then she broke the high. Okay, so then this becomes, I've done it again. I always have that selected. So now that is now supply to demand range flip, demand's back in. Let's finish off monthly. 25 minutes. Not that I'm counting, I'm just trying to kind of keep it short and sweet for you. You guys don't want to hear my voice all day long. Excuse me. What breaks first, the high or the low? The high does. That's the lowest point of the range. Here's our new high. Here's our new low. That's the break. That would have gone up. That's the highest point. Because look, it's broken. This wick here is the next candle after the break. So does that go higher than that one? It does. This is good. It's good to, don't really get many better examples for attention to detail. I did this. So that was the low. At that point it created that as the high. Oh, it's done again, same again though. Did it break the low or the high first? Let's do it. Let's go down. Again, this is why I like ranges, because it's nothing really else in the strategy has this much attention to detail. But it's good to just see, like, this is a lot of money moving. This is like, I think it's $6 trillion a day moves through the Forex market. Like, and none of it is random. You know, this is all moving with purpose. So it's good to kind of get in there and just be like, well, hey, if it's broken that high, it's broken it for a reason. You know what I mean? If it's broken that low, it's done it for a reason. If it's done this flip, it's done it for a reason. You know, it's good to get your eye in pretty early on. And then when it comes to the other stuff, like points of interest and flips, where things are, you kind of want it slapping you in the face to be that clear, then it becomes easier. Okay, so sorry, that was the high, that was the low. Broke the high first, then we went low. So that was actually a demand, supply to demand range flip there. So in stuff like this, you can kind of see like demand's try to have a bit of say, and supply's like, nah. I mean, that would be then, that's the low again. Cool. Sorry, I got a bit excited there. I was still back there. Low broke first. It's like I can see the finish line, man. Stay cool. Stay cool. Happy days. Alright, so now there's our supply ranges marked out, and you only ever have to do that once. Alright, so monthly, we'll never have to mark up the ranges again. If you guys want to go really into detail, do all of it. I think I have, to be honest with you, because I'm a pest. Have I? Where's my monthly ranges? Yeah. No. Okay, I've done it back to 2000. Did it back there. SP, YSP, MSP, that's all of that. Oh, I know, swing points. Don't use that no more. Cool. So that'll then, hang on. No, I'm going to say that for video 2. What can we do on this one? Yeah, so we'll never have to do this again. Just to make sure they go to your, whatever your page, your trading view page is saved as. It'll probably just be like live trading. You can either rename it to whatever you want to call it, and save it. Make sure auto save is on. I think it automatically saves your work like every 2 minutes. But just save layout when you've done a big amount of work like this. And then also we can start breaking down our folders as well. So see how we just got a ton of rectangles here, which is everything we've just marked up. Highlight them all. Create a group, drawings, and name it. Click on it again. Monthly ranges. In this way, when we're on let's get rid of the rays now. When we're on the monthly and we want to see our markings, our drawings, what's relevant to us on a monthly, we can have this box visible. And when we're on the weekly, daily, whatever, if we want to see, oh, that was our last monthly supply range, but it's not really relevant to us now on the daily. We can have it in the back of our minds to be what areas we're in on the higher time frame. But then, if you don't want to see it, you can just hide it. Delete it all and redraw it up every time. This is great because if we kept everything on, let's do a little example to finish up with. Let's say you kept everything on. Let's go my lower time frame, my 15-minute, my Asian markets, my 4-hour POIs, 4-hour ranges, daily POIs, weekly POIs, weekly ranges, monthlies. I can't even see the chart there. Actually got pretty lines. But all this is us integrating time frames into each other to help us identify strong points. So it's good to create these folders, keep things very neat and tidy. So that way, when I'm on the 4-hour, I don't need to know what I've drawn up on the 15-minute, on the daily, on the weekly, monthly, all that kind of jazz so much. I just want to see what's relevant to me on the 4-hour. Okay? So we've started creating our folders a little bit. We've drawn out range order flows. It would be good for the next range video to have your monthly ranges marked out with your weekly ranges, with your daily ranges, 4-hour ranges. And we'll just be going on that because 15 minutes, I might be making a video and then that 15 minutes data was ages ago by the time you're watching it. So just focus on the higher time frames for now. 15-minute range order flows is more for relevant price action when we're entering trades and stuff. But still, do it on your screen. Just do it. And also it will come in handy when we come to the points of interest as well, which is our next video. So again, I apologise if I kind of used any kind of future terminology there that we haven't covered yet. But for now, if you've got an understanding on what is a range, 3 phases of the market, supply, demand, or ranging, how we mark out the ranges, which I feel we've just covered pretty in depth there. How it's either a supply or demand range, which I feel we've just covered pretty in depth there too. And marking them out on different time frames. So if we've covered those 3 things so far, I feel like we're ready to jump into video 2, which should be kind of showing the power ranges. Sorry, I've already done that joke. The power of the range when we kind of integrate them with the time frames and how it helps us identify trends and which way we want to be trading. Sweet. Alright guys, I'll leave it there. Thanks for your patience there. I hope that helped. Excuse me, and look forward to the next video. Take it easy.